Hey guys, this is Vadim with Max Tech, and this right here is the brand new 2020 MacBook Air. It's actually the quad-core i5 model, which is really nice because you not only get really good CPU scores, but you also get a big improvement in graphics because the i5 actually has the best integrated G7 graphics, unlike the i3. However, there's one big issue with this MacBook Air that you don't have with the MacBook Pro, and that's the fact that while it does have a fan, the fan is actually not connected to the CPU's heatsink, so that means you can turn up the fan speed, but it's not going to be efficiently cooling it down as well as on the MacBook Pro. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to be playing some games. We're going to play Fortnite, Overwatch, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and we're going to see the gaming performance of the MacBook Air by itself, and then we're actually going to be hooking it up to an eGPU with the AMD 5700 XT graphics card and seeing if the quad-core MacBook Air is actually a pretty decent laptop to be using with an eGPU for video gaming. What we're going to do first before we start gaming is log into Windows 10 using Boot Camp and run Unigen's Heaven benchmark. And we're going to be running the extreme preset of Unigen Heaven benchmark 4.0. Right off the bat, you can tell that this benchmark is not running very smoothly at all. I don't know if you guys can hear these fans right now, but they're pretty loud and annoying. The test finished, we got 10.3 FPS, which is definitely pretty bad. The 16-inch MacBook Pro actually got a decent score, 47.7 FPS, so you could actually do some gaming on that, and we did, but on this thing, it doesn't look like it's gonna be able to cut it. I'll show you guys in just a couple of games. Here I am in Overwatch. I've got it set to native resolution. I wanna try this out first, 16 by 10. I turned a lot of the settings down. I have graphics quality on low. I'm gonna turn off anti-aliasing. All right, so this is completely unplayable. Native resolution, everything as low as possible other than that. And this is just absolutely horrible. Yeah, this is completely unplayable. All right, so I just turned it down. For some reason, it's not using the full screen. I turned down the resolution basically like 4 times smaller than it is supposed to. Now it could actually move, but this is still unplayable. Let's see if I could at least kill somebody here. Hey, I actually killed somebody. So here I am trying to play Modern Warfare, and I'm getting this error code, something about the graphics. So that could be because we're using integrated graphics and we're getting a very limited amount of VRAM. So Modern Warfare is not working at all right now. So with that, let's restart back in macOS and play Fortnite. Here I am in the Fortnite settings, and for some reason it set everything to high. I set everything to low. I'm gonna bring the 3D resolution back up to 100% because I want the native resolution of the MacBook. Show FPS is on, and let's go ahead and get into the game. All right, so here I am, getting around 10, 12 FPS, native resolution with everything set to low. Yeah, definitely not a good experience. I just turned down the 3D resolution to 50% of native. Now I'm getting around 20, 25 FPS, nowhere near 60. Well, definitely not a fun experience. I mean, at least I killed a guy. So obviously we already expected this to not do well by itself. So let's hook up the eGPU and see how that does. All right guys, so we got our eGPU set up right here. We have the Razer Chrome X eGPU enclosure. We have the Radeon 5700 XT inside of there. And that all is hooked up to the MacBook Air. Everything is good with that. Still got my mouse, got a Bluetooth keyboard. Now first I wanna show you guys, if you look up here, the eGPU is working. It's detecting it, RX 5700 XT. And by the way, guys, if you're interested in the eGPU setup or the MacBook Air, we have links down in the description below. So the first thing I want to do is test out the graphics performance. I'm going to go to Metal in Geekbench 5. Let's test it out. So we got our score back. We have 28,668. That is a massive difference compared to the MacBook Air by itself. With that, let's go back into Windows 10 and test out Unigen Heaven. All right, guys, so I just tried everything to get the eGPU to work, in Windows 10 using Boot Camp, and unfortunately I did not get it to work. I kept getting this error code. It's saying that the device, the 5700 XT, could not find enough free resources to connect and work properly. Now that might be due to the 8 gigabytes of RAM. Maybe it'll work with 16. But so far, the eGPU is not working in Windows 10, so let's switch back to macOS and play some Fortnite. Here we are in macOS, the eGPU is working, thankfully. We're gonna try Unison Heaven within macOS. All right, there you guys go. That's what we like to see, 86.7 FPS with the eGPU setup in macOS. Now this comes out to a total of around $1,760 with the $1,100 quad-core MacBook Air and the enclosure in the 5700 XT. All right guys, here we are back in the settings. We're at 1080p resolution because this is a 1080p display, frame rate on unlimited. Now the main thing we're gonna be testing out here is if the quad-core processor can handle video gaming for a long session. Because the CPU heatsink is not connected to the fan, so we might see some overheating, and because of that, we might see lower performance even though we're connected to a really good eGPU. All right, here we go guys, we're in game and we're getting around, look at that, close to 60 FPS. It does drop down a little to 50, and it does have the occasional frame rate drop down to around 30, so that's a little bit annoying. That could be because of the CPU, I'm not sure, but let's keep testing. So right now I'm hitting up to 90 FPS, but there are some weird glitches and stutters. Definitely experiencing some issues. Yeah, around 60 FPS right now, not bad. But these glitches every now and then are just really messing it up. Whoa! Since it wasn't performing very well, I'm gonna change the quality down to medium, but I'm gonna bring the 3D resolution back up to 100% to make sure it's still at 1080p. So we're back with medium settings right now. I'm seeing the FPS hover at around 60 FPS, but there are some spikes like we saw before. Look at that, 130 FPS now. Around 70 FPS right now. It's actually not too bad on medium settings right now, but I am getting some dropped frames every now and then. Oh, outplayed. So although I was at around 70 FPS, 60 to 70 at times, it was nice and smooth, I was experiencing issues where the FPS would drop and spike. Definitely not a good experience. It might be due to the quad-core CPU overheating and clocking itself down. We're gonna take a look at that after we go down to low settings. So low, with 100% 3D resolution, 1080p, let's try that out. Now about 80 FPS, 90, not experiencing those dropped frames. Got him! Right, so far everything's been smooth. All right, dude. Where you at? Woo! What up, bro? Oh, snap. Currently at around 130 FPS, it does go down a little bit, but honestly, it's doing pretty well. That frame drop issue is gone now that we're at low settings. Feels really smooth. The graphics does not look good at all, but hey, it's playable. It's very smooth. Yo, what's going on, man? I don't know where this guy went. He's gone. Come on, tell me I can kill. Yes! Oh, did you see that? Come on, bro. So I actually had Intel Power Gadget running in the background, monitoring the temps of the CPU. The CPU was at 100 degrees Celsius the entire time that I was playing. 100 degrees Celsius. And there's only one reason for it. The heatsink on the CPU is not connected to the fan. So let's answer the original question of this video. Can the MacBook Air do some video gaming while connected to an eGPU? Because by itself, it obviously can't. But connecting to an eGPU, first of all, it doesn't even work in Windows 10. But in macOS, because of that issue with the fan not being connected, the temps are at 100 degrees Celsius the entire time. And we've tested this eGPU before with the same graphics card, and it worked quite well with other MacBooks like the MacBook Pro, but it does not work well here. Definitely go for at least the base 13-inch MacBook Pro, which has one fan, but that fan is connected to the heatsink and it performs quite well for gaming. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully you learned something new. If you did, tap that like button and click the circle above for some more MacBook Air and iPad Pro videos coming soon. And be sure to check out one of those 2 videos right over there. One of them is actually testing video editing on the 2020 MacBook Air. So if you're interested to see if it actually works and if it's a good choice, watch that video. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.